Y'all can hear me? Yeah. All right, before we get started, we got to do something, family. It's family here, right? All right, I get the family atmosphere. That's great. If y'all in the back, can everybody can y'all shift forward? If you're sitting in the back, because when my students come to my class, I'm like millionaires sitting in front. So I need y'all to shift because energy, like the way energy works, I need y'all to shift towards the front just a little bit so we can be more, a little bit more intimate. Just shift towards the front for me a little bit. I won't bite, and if I do, y'all outnumber me, so we good. Just shift towards the front for me a little bit. All right, we got some motion there. All right, thank you. Well, the man who says he can and the man who says he can't, they're both right. All right, that's better. That's better. I like how we filled in a little bit. All right, some of us still kind of scared. It's okay. I got it. All right, first let me just say thank you for having me here. It's a great honor and it's a great privilege to be here with you tonight, family. Yeah, you know how you feel underprivileged? I feel that way, but I'm gonna do the best I can for you, and I'm just gonna pray that God put something on my heart to bless me with, to share with you all tonight, something of value. So, oh wait, this mine? Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. So you heard about the school. I'm going to talk about my school a little bit. I heard about the concerns and some of the needs here. And so I want to try to address that tonight. Hopefully I can provide some inspiration and some information and give you something valuable to leave with. If my voice sounds down a little bit, my brother DC, who you see in the back, we just did a 7-hour workshop like 2 days ago. So my voice is down a little bit. We just did an artificial intelligence workshop for 7 hours straight with no break. So my voice is a little bit down. And then I have class today, of course. But we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it do what it do. All right, let me ask some questions right quick so I can get an idea of who's in the house. I see some old faces. I see some young faces. I'm trying to read the room and see. Are there some educators in here? There's some educators in here? Oh, okay, y'all. There's educators in here. All right, that means I gotta really perform. There's educators in here, because educators hold you to a different standard. They want to know, how does this work? I don't know. Let me just give y'all a secret off top. If you got all the answers, you probably don't got the answer, because I ain't got all the answers. Right? If you have all the answers, you probably don't have all the answers. I want to share a quick anecdote with everybody to kind of change our, thank you very much. I want to share a quick anecdote with everybody that I typically share, and it's this story is how we're going to kick it off, but it's going to be based on how we need to see whatever needs to be done. So whatever y'all need in Beloit, I need y'all to know that you can get it done. All right? I don't care how many haters you got. I don't care if you don't got the money, you don't got the resources, you don't got the network, you don't have the connect. That's not what you need. All those things people are like, oh, I got to have this, I got to have. No, that's not what you need. You just got to believe you can get it done. Yes. All right? Y'all ever heard the phrase, the man who says he can, the man who says he can't? They both usually right. So that's the case. So I want to share this quick anecdote with you. So there's a husband and there's a wife. They're in the kitchen. The husband comes downstairs into the kitchen, and the wife is looking out of the kitchen window, and she tells the husband, she says, look at our neighbors. It's kind of old school. So if y'all younger, this may not register with you at first. So back in the day when they used to do laundry, there wasn't washing machines and dryers. When they had to dry their clothes, they had to hang them up on a net. So some of y'all looking like, huh? Okay. It's a clothesline. They would hang the stuff up on the clothesline. It's before my time too. I get you. So husband comes into the kitchen, and the husband says the wife says to the husband, she says, hey darling, look at our neighbor that just moved in. She's doing laundry and she's hanging the sheets up outside, but she's doing it wrong. And the husband looks out the window. He said, what's going on? And she says, she's hanging up dirty sheets. Like she did the laundry, but the sheets are still dirty. And she can visibly tell the sheets are dirty, so she's concerned. And so the husband's like, he ain't really care. If there's any husbands in here, y'all probably feel me, right? You like, that's whatever. So he says, all right, well, maybe it's a one-time thing. Maybe she didn't know. Next week comes around, same type of situation happened. The husband comes into the kitchen. The wife is looking out the window at her neighbor, and she's like, look, she's doing laundry again. And again, she's hanging up dirty sheets. And the husband is like, that is odd, because you got to sleep on those, right? The husband says, it is odd, but I don't know what to tell you. So week 3 comes around. Week 3 comes around, she's looking out the window again. She tells the husband the same thing. She's still doing laundry the incorrect way. And so the husband says, listen, if she does it wrong again, then maybe you should go talk to her and teach her the right way to do it. Instead of looking out of the window, maybe go talk to her and teach her the right way to do it. But something happens in week 4, y'all. In week 4, the husband comes into the kitchen and the wife is excited. She like, baby, look out the window. He looks, he says, she's doing her laundry, but now she's doing it correct. Her sheet's not dirty no more, and she's really excited. And then the husband tells her, hey, baby, she didn't do nothing different than she did the last 3 weeks. He said, I just cleaned the kitchen window. You gotta understand that sometimes the lens by which you see things can change your reality. The lens that you see things can make you see things one way that may not necessarily be true. And I share that to say that there's nothing that you can't accomplish. If you feel like there's something you can't accomplish, it's only because the lens that you're looking at it from is wrong. All right, so it's about changing our perception to empower ourselves, to empower our community, to empower those whom we need to empower. All right? One other story I'm going to share with you. Two more stories. I'm going to share 2 more stories, and we'll get into this. There's a story of a little boy, and it's a true story, too. Little boy was outside playing with his friend on a frozen pond in the wintertime. And I don't know, y'all might have heard this. One of the little boys, they was like 8 years old. One of the little boys, while they was playing, they didn't recognize that the ice was really thin. And so while the little boys was playing on the pond, one of the little boys fell into the frozen water. And as he fell into the frozen water, I mean, if you ever been in some frozen water, you know that ain't where you want to be, right? The little boy, the friend that didn't fall in, as he saw his friend fall into the water, he didn't even think about it. He ran across the pond, which I thought was interesting that he ran across a pond. A pond is ice, right? Y'all ever try to run across ice, y'all? Okay, maybe y'all special in here. It don't work for me. He ran across the pond to a tree. He grabbed a branch, and he took the branch back to his friend that was in the water, in the freezing water, drowning. And he took the branch and he put it into the water, told his friend to grab on. He grabbed the branch and he pulled him out of the pond. And some people walking by, some adults ended up calling 911. The ambulance got there, and they were in awe because when the ambulance got there, they saw the branch that the little boy pulled, and the grown men couldn't lift it. True story. The grown men couldn't lift the branch. It's something about the mind that when you believe, you can achieve. It's something about the mind that if you focus on, he didn't have time to sit around and say, man, the branch is too heavy, I can't grab it. His friend's life was in danger. He had to get to his friend to save his life. He grabbed the branch, he put it in there. When the paramedics got there, they was baffled. How did he stick this branch into it was too heavy, right? So there's something about belief. Also, are there any mothers in the house? Any mothers? There's a few mothers in the house. Fellas, children, if it's any children, y'all probably know this too. It's something special about mothers. Mothers have this uncanny ability to protect their children. Can I get an amen on the mothers? Do y'all know there's some true stories from like right around this area where like bobcats have like come into the area? There's one story I want to say out of like Genoa where a bobcat like got loose or something like that, and the mother had her child in a car seat on the ground, and the mom jumped on the bobcat and choked it out. Okay, y'all acting like this is an everyday thing. Listen, I don't know what happened in Beloit, all right? But where I'm from, we don't see bobcats get choked out by hand, all right? That is what they say. That is crazy work, all right? Choked the bobcat by hand. Didn't ask no questions. Why? Her baby life was in danger. It's something about the power of belief. When you believe strong enough, you can achieve. If you believe, right? Problem is, we be wanting to do stuff and we don't believe. But there's something special about the babies in here tonight, because depending upon what you tell them, they might not have the same limitations that some of the older adults grew up with. We had like when I was younger, right? My grandmama, you know, God bless her soul, and my mama, they used to say stuff to me like, you talk too much. Yeah, but now I get paid for speaking, right? You talk too much. They used to tell me stuff. Turn them video games off. You ain't gonna never make a career out of that. Now my guy like ranked on Madden. He get paid for playing video games, right? But they used to tell me, get off the game and go outside. You're spending too much time in here. But all the time he spent, he get paid for playing video games, right? So it's something about believing. It's something about the power that's within you. I'm gonna share one more anecdote and we'll get into it, all right? Hopefully, maybe or maybe not, you've seen this before, but y'all can try this experiment as well. You probably don't want to, but you can, all right? Anybody ever heard of the flea experiment? Y'all ever heard of that? I should have just pulled it up on YouTube instead of me talking about it. I'm gonna talk about it, but you can go on YouTube. It's only a 1-minute video. Something called the flea experiment. The flea, y'all know what fleas are? Nobody wanna raise their hand, huh? I don't know what fleas are. What? Okay, we got I got one testimony in the back. I know what a flea is, right? Okay. All right. If you ever had animals that got fleas, you know them things is terrible, right? So fleas of all insects have the highest vertical. They say they can jump like 100 times their height or something like that, like 6 feet high or something crazy like that, right? So a flea can literally, is this small, but can jump whatever, right? So here's the crazy thing about a flea. It got a 6-foot vertical, but if you take fleas and you put them in a glass jar, and they put saran wrap over the top of the glass jar and left it there for 24 hours, you can remove the top of that glass jar, remove the glass jar, and the fleas will only jump to the ceiling that you put on it, right? They'll only jump. And not just that, those same fleas will have babies and teach their babies they can only jump to the ceiling that was created, right? It's a 1-minute video on YouTube. You can watch it. But something interesting happens. If you introduce a flea that's still in its natural state, that can still jump 6 feet high, and you take that flea and you put that flea in a colony of fleas, when the other fleas see that flea jumping 6 feet high, they start to believe that they can do it too. So all of a sudden, the same fleas that only jump to the lid of the jar, they like, man, let me try, right? Because there's nothing wrong with the body. There's something wrong with the mind. In the moment that they have an example in front of them that can jump higher, that can achieve higher, they start to do stuff they never believed they could do. So I'm talking about myself. I'm one of those fleas. That's a true story, by the way. Y'all can look it up. It's a 1-minute experiment. If y'all an educator, show your students. Tell them they fleas. And they're not going to like that part. But tell them they fleas. And then show them the video. They'll love it. So I'm like the flea, right? In business, my first, I don't know how many businesses, they all failed. They were terrible, right? My wife will tell you, we spent thousands of dollars on my failures. I had some expensive failures too. I'm talking about putting money up. I'm like, this gonna be the one. When I run this business, we about to come up. And she believed me. I don't know why. I'm like, baby, just invest. I had an idea. At the time, Larry Johnson had a company called Everlasting Springs, the former basketball player for the Hornets. And I said, man, I want to do something good for my community. I'm going to sell water, 5-gallon jugs of water. And I didn't really know nobody. I had just moved to Rockford. I didn't know nobody. And the first day was great. I had crazy sales the first day. And it didn't even dawn on me, if everybody buying 5-gallon jugs of water, they're not going to need no more product for some months. The next day, I'm walking around my basement, and it's just jugs of water everywhere. I'm like, this is the new decoration, right? We ain't never sell no more jugs of water. We spent about $5,000. That's $5,000 down the drain. Then I had a brother. He was doing purse parties. He had a beauty supply store. He was really successful. I was like, I could do that. How much I need to get in? He said, look, man, put up $3,000. I can get you everything you need. We got a store out west in the city. That's Chicago. He said, I got a store out west. Man, my people will put you on. All you got to do, come with the $3,000. At that time, it was like Ed Hardy and, the regular stuff, Gucci and Coogee and whatever. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I loaded up. I got perfumes. I got clothes. Man, I'm lit. I'm going to be out here making a killing. Purse parties. What's up? I'm talking to girls. Hey, beautiful. How you doing? You know what go good with that smile, girl? A Gucci purse. You know what I'm saying? What's up with a purse party? But nobody told me. I didn't know the neighborhoods. They didn't tell me I was in the projects. Not to knock nobody in the projects, but the prices of what I was selling and the people I was selling to didn't match. And something happened to me on this journey. There was nobody in my community that looked like me that was teaching entrepreneurship. I was just trying to figure it out. And every time I tried something new, it was a failure. And I tried something new, and it was a failure. And I tried something else new, and it was a failure. But something happened to me. I'm going to fast forward to my story a little bit because I'm going to share some of my story. Something happened to me in Atlanta, right? Now you're like, you got scammed? Probably, because it's Atlanta, right? They scam. But something happened to me in Atlanta. There's a podcast. It was really popular during COVID called Social Proof Podcast. And I have a mentor that I luckily ran into. And I had told him, I said, man, I got a vision board because all my businesses failed. I got a vision board. I want to meet this brother that runs this podcast because I feel like he could really change my life. And the brother told me, he said, listen, man, all you got to do is go jump on a flight to Atlanta, bring an all-white outfit. I got you. I'm going to introduce you. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, we'll go eat or something, break bread. I'm like, oh, I'm home. So I'm super geeked, except I can't afford no flight to Atlanta. I'm broke. When I say broke, I mean broker than broke, right? Somehow, though, I begged, I borrowed, because up here, I believed if I just got to Atlanta, that my life could change. So somehow, I got a flight, red-eye to Atlanta, landed, I got out of the airport, don't know where I'm going. I'm in College Park at midnight. If anybody know anything about College Park, the D-Boys was out, the ladies of the night was out, police was everywhere, and I got a big bag and an all-white outfit walking through College Park trying to figure it out. Got to my hotel, they said, we sold your room 2 hours ago. I'm like, okay. I don't really know nobody out here. It's gonna be a tough night. Called my wife on the phone. I'm like, hey, babe, they sold my hotel room, and the D-Boys across the street, they're looking at me funny. I'm pretty sure I look like a Vic right now. Anybody that's not from the streets, that just means victim, okay? Had a little bit of streets in my background. And I'm like, I'm not sure what to do. So she like, I'm gonna try to get you a hotel room. So she calling hotels, blowing it up, and then I kick off a conversation with the D-Boys. I ain't got nothing else to do. Like, hey, man, what y'all got going on? They talking to me, you know, man, I was gonna rob some Mexicans tonight. I was like, whoa, I don't wanna be involved in no crimes. I just need a hotel room, dude. Who do you know? Where can I go? And I'm talking to them, and lo and behold, my wife got me a room. It was an interesting conversation. So I'm in for the night. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I finally got to my hotel room. I'm like, all right. The next day, I called my mentor who's out in New Jersey, but there happened to be at the same time like a tropical storm or something had hit. So he's trying to fly in from Jersey, but the airport gets shut down because of the tropical storm. But I'm supposed to go meet this guy with him. So I determined to myself, right? We're talking about belief, right? I was like, listen, I'm gonna go meet this brother. You know, I'm going to have to go meet this brother. So I call him on the phone. He's like, I don't know if I'm able to make it or not. I'm like, bro, you don't understand. I'm in Atlanta. I ain't got no money. Everything in my life is riding on it. I need this. He was like, figure it out. I was like, dang, that's tough, right? But as a man, sometimes you got to figure it out. So I go take an Uber. I'm at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And not the stadium, I'm sorry, across the street from the stadium. As I get there, I start noticing it's all these people dressed in white. It wasn't just me. So I was like, what's going on? And as I get there, there's these black entrepreneurs that I knew from watching them on the podcast that was all there. So I'm seeing people I know, like people I look up to that I wanted to meet. You know, they say never meet your heroes, but all my heroes was in the same spot at the same time, going to the same room. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I get out the car, it's his brother. I don't know, his reputation is, it's up and down, but it's his brother named Him 500 that's there. So I see Him 500, he walk up to me like, what up, King? And I'm like, yo, this dude talking to me, it's crazy. He's like, you here for the event? I'm like, I guess, I didn't know it was an event. I thought I was coming to eat lunch. He's like, it's upstairs, take the elevator. So I go get on the elevator, go upstairs. When I get off the elevator, it's like a VIP guest list. They like, man, what's your name? I'm like, I don't even know if I'm on the guest list. we gonna make it happen some type of way. I tell the lady I'm the +1. I tell her who my mentor is. I get into the event. As I walk through, I look down to where everybody's gonna be dining at. It's like all gold silverware, gold plates and stuff. I'm like, yo, I'm out of my league. My EBT card is scratching my side right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. As I go down the spiral staircase, it's like a rooftop party. As I go down the spiral staircase, I realize this room is packed with at least 100 different multimillionaires that's black. Most of them probably around my same age. And I'm in this room heart beating. And I feel like I don't deserve to be here because everybody in this room got money. I know I'm the poorest person in this room by far. Heart just beating out my chest. I want to talk to people, but I'm so scared. I'm like, oh my God, like, what's going on? And this young brother walks up to me, 18 years old. He like, what up, son? I'm like, hey, what's going on, brother? He like, yo, you here with hey, Donahue? I said, yeah, that's my guy. He said, okay, cool, man, this is what I do. He started talking to me, and I started getting a little bit more comfortable. And I start talking, and as I'm at this event, all these people I ever wanted to meet is in this. And listen, let me tell you why it was spooky for me, and I'm gonna move on from this. It was spooky for me because they was talking about conversations I never heard before. One brother was at a table talking about they only made $5 million on Tuesday. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Hold on, y'all. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. They only made $5 million on Tuesday. Okay, some of y'all still not catching. Y'all not picking up what I'm putting down. They only made $5 million on Tuesday. And they was upset. They was angry. They was like dealing at the table like, this gotta happen, that gotta happen. We gotta change this. That system got to get shut down. We're not gonna do this no more. I'm like, excuse me. Did you say you only made $5 million on Tuesday? He like, yeah, man, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm like, no, let's talk about it. No, let's talk about it. What are we talking about right now, right? And it was just interesting. Then, while I'm at the table, there's this young brother next to me, and he's just chilling. Like, he got a little short set on, all white, he chilling. And I'm like, hey, what's your name? And he's like, oh, my name is Marquell. He's talking to me. And I know I've seen him somewhere before, but I just don't know who he is. And I'm like, man, okay. He introduces himself, and I tell him I got a school. And he says, you got a school? I was like, yeah, I got a school, man. Tell me about it. I was like, oh, well, you know, there's only 3 Black-owned private schools in Illinois that's registered and recognized by Illinois State Board of Education. We're one of them. And we're the only K-12. I was like, and I'm doing the best I can in entrepreneurship, but, you know, we ain't had a bunch of big successes, but that's what we got. And he says to me, yo, that's dope. He's not even talking to nobody else. He locks in, he says, yo, King, I'm flying out to your city next week. Let me know the information. I'm gonna pop in on you. I was like, I don't got the money to pay you to come down. He said, it's on me. I got you. Trust me, I got you. So long story short, I'm gonna fast forward from that. I'm sharing that with you because my life changed that night. Remember those fleas we was talking about? So you never know what you can actually do until you see somebody who looks like you that's done it, right? I remember the first time, true story, y'all, true story. The first time I was so geeked, we made $60,000 in a day. I was geeked. I jumped on the phone. I was, I gotta call my coach. I'm so excited. Yo, he answered the phone. Yo, I just made 60 bands in a day. We finna be rich. We up. He was like, cool. When you're ready to make real money, let me know. Click. That was the whole phone call. It was that quick. But it let me know because I was around people that made $1 million in a day. So me making $60,000 in a day, well, like, what do that mean, right? Because I'm around people who, these fleas not just jumping to the top of the lid, right? These are the fleas that they came around somebody who was jumping at the original height. So that's pretty cool. Just so y'all know, though, if y'all want to know that pipeline, all of these people in that pipeline all came through Eric Thomas. Just so y'all know who Eric Thomas is? Like, y'all know? No? Some of y'all do? Eric Thomas is like the #1 motivational speaker in the world. He get booked by like NBA, NFL. Eric Thomas is that deal. He's also a preacher, so I don't know if you, check out Eric Thomas, that's what I'm trying to tell you. But everybody in this line came through Eric Thomas. Like Eric Thomas produced this whole line of people that are successful entrepreneurs. So it was kind of dope to me. That night changed my life. At one point, y'all, my entrepreneurship was so bad. And because I couldn't keep a job, I was one of those people. Like I'd give them a job, and it'd be like 3 days in. Hey, anybody ever work a factory job? Anybody work factory jobs? If you do, my hats go off to you. I tried to work a factory job. I really did. And like after the first day of like screw in the box, screw in the box, screw in the box, I was looking at the people like, hey, y'all cool with this? Like y'all live life like this every day? Because I'm a social butterfly and I'm a creative. So my mind be racing. And so everybody just screw in the box, screw in the box, screw in the box. And I'm like, yo, this don't feel like a plantation to y'all? Like y'all don't feel like this is the slave plantation? This don't feel like that to? So I got fired from those jobs pretty quick. They're like, ain't no freeing the slaves on the job. You gotta let the slaves work. You can't be freeing them and inspiring them to, right? But that's how I felt. I just couldn't keep a job. I tried everything. I did the Walmarts, I did the Lowe's, I did the telemarketing, I did a little bit of everything, right? I did all I could do to be great, and I just kept losing jobs. It wasn't for me, right? But nobody had ever told me about entrepreneurship, like real entrepreneurship, like locking in, like being, like driving traffic, like converting people, like making high ticket sales. Nobody told me nothing about that. So I ain't know. I did the best I could do with what I had. And I was bad, y'all. You don't know how bad I was? This is how poor we was, y'all. While we were being foreclosed on, right, because we got like the home buyers thing in the bubble, while we was being foreclosed on and the lights was out and the gas was off, in order for me to take a shower, we had to sneak to the Y like right before they closed to take showers. Because we didn't have no power, no nothing, like rock bottom type stuff. Like your pride, I mean, you got pride, but you're going to be funky or you're going to be prideful. You know what I'm saying? My mama raised a clean child. I'm going to get that shower water, you feel me? I'll be in the Y crying, I'm poor, but I'm going to be poor and clean. Better to be poor and clean than to be poor and musty. At least nobody going to talk about me being musty. They can talk about me being poor, but not musty, right? So that was one of the low points in my life that I hit, and I knew I could be more and I could do more. I just hadn't seen more, right? And this other thing was missing that I did not have that I'm telling y'all have right now. Y'all have something I didn't know I had, and that's belief. That the moment you believe it and you conceive it, you can achieve it. I think that's Napoleon Hill, right? Y'all read Think and Grow Rich? Anybody here read Think and Grow Rich, by the way? You read it? What you think about it? It's okay? I was so disappointed when I found out Napoleon Hill wasn't who he said he was. I was hurt. I'm like, this man a con artist? But I still love the book. It's my favorite book, but man, it's hurtful. But anyway, so I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of background. I'm gonna walk y'all through. Okay, let's see. We booting up? All right. I might need the tech people to help me out. The TV not on. While we booting up, I'm gonna walk y'all through. It's just off? Should be easy, right? Watch me push a button and something break. I can't afford to fix it. I'm gonna need somebody to come in. All right, while we're waiting for that. Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay, we back up. This is just a button push. I got it. We should be good. All right. So this is my, when this disappears, I'll show y'all. So this is my school's website. Oh, wait, let me go to the home page. This is my school's website. We've been in business for 7 years now. This is 7. So you give us a round of applause for 7 years. You know, that's you know, black businesses, do y'all know, statistically speaking, that it takes 2,500 attempted businesses in the black community to get 100 black businesses that are at least successful enough to go into legitimized business. Y'all, anybody know, educators, can y'all help me with the fraction? What's 100 over 2,500? What's that percentage? Because I can't do it off my top of my head. But educators looking at me like, man, listen, we got calculators too. What you talking about, cuz? We got calculators too. 100 out of every 2,500 attempts at business in the black community become legit. Legit don't mean your business is about to last. It just means you made it to the stage of doing the paperwork to be a legit business, so you're not hustling no more. When you look in the business dictionary, hustle is not in there. Hustling is not in there, right? Selling out the trunk is not a strategy for a successful business, all right? It could be. You know, Master P did it, I guess. So this is my school. We've been here for 7 years, and I'm gonna walk y'all through just a little bit right quick. Just wanted to show y'all. Does this got sound on it too? Do you know? Does it got sound? I don't know. We'll figure it out together. So this is my school's website. I want to get to the mission statement right quick, just so I can kind of walk you through the vision that we had, right? So we own Rockford's, me and my wife had owned Rockford's first black-owned beauty supply store, right? And it was cool, but not really cool because black folks weren't shopping with us, right? We were struggling. I was like, yo, we got this. They done celebrated us. We made national news. We trending on Google. We trending on Yahoo, and we ain't got no customers. It's crazy, right? And I don't know if y'all heard this phrase. If I offend you, well, you'll be all right. I don't know if y'all have heard this phrase. Y'all ever heard that the white man ice cubes is colder? Y'all ever heard that? Yeah, it's true. It's true. They ice cube's way colder than ours. So it'd be like, right, I sell a nail clipper for 79 cents. And the Koreans, they sell it for 89 cents. But their store was way bigger than mine. And do you know that our people would tell us, like, man, listen, I rock with you, but they store bigger. I'm like, but all you need is a nail clipper. And ours is cheaper. They're like, yeah, but look at all the stuff they have. I'm like, yeah, but you just need a nail clipper. You don't even need all the stuff. They're like, yeah, but look at all the stuff they have. Y'all know that's a real psychological thing? One of my coaches talking about, he got a book that talks about it, where we go because we're stimulated. And because we're stimulated, we feel like they have something better, right? So we had a beauty supply store. It had 2 floors. The first floor was the beauty supply store. The second floor, we used to do like events. We do entrepreneur workshops. We do different stuff. And we used to rent it out. And renting it out was a problem because you know who want to rent it out, right? Young people. And no knock to y'all young people, but y'all like to get teed a little bit. And there was these girls that was like, listen, we'll pay triple. And I was like, yo, pay triple? They was like, we'll pay triple to rent it out. So I was like, okay, that's all right, but we'll take the triple because we broke, we need it. All right, we'll take the triple. And we rented it out for them to throw an event. And then the police called me that night. And they was like, are you the owner at 3424 North Main Street? And I was like, yeah. They was like, we got your niece down here. I was like, my niece? What you mean? They was like, your niece said that you gave her permission to throw a party? I'm like, she in Chicago? You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? What niece? He's like, your niece that's throwing the party that you gave permission to throw. I was like, they was like, can you come down here? So I'm like, I got to go get into it with the police on my off day. I get down there. These girls, not only did they rent the place out, but so it's like these like small little rooms, and they had made flyers that was like private dancers, private room, private time. And you can pay a fee for private time with the private dancer in the private room and do what you want to do. I was like, you want to do what? So I get there talking to the police. I'm like, I don't know these girls. Hey, prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. I'm snitching. I'm a civilian. I'm not involved in this. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to blow my business up because you want to do some wild stuff. You bringing dancers down and stuff. I'm like, who told you could do all of that? Y'all said y'all was having a birthday party. Like, what 5-year-old got dancers? This is crazy. So we realized, y'all, our time for renting the place out was up. Like, we can't do this no more. So we started asking a question. What can we do in the daytime to make money, especially Monday through Thursday, because we never have rentals, and we want to make money all day, right? We was like, what can we do? So my first thought, guess what y'all thought it was? It was a school. But here's the problem. When we talking about belief, right? I was like, man, we could start a school. Then I went to a good old friend, Google. We didn't have ChatGPT at the time. I went to Google, and Google said, the cost to start a private school is $500,000 to $1 million. And I was like, well, we can't do a school, but we're going to find something else to do with our time, right? But here's how God works. We wanted to do a school. We did a black town hall meeting. We met with a bunch of people, and they was like, hey, let's try to start a Saturday school. So, okay, we can start with just Saturdays, get our children, educate them on Saturdays. But then, unbeknownst to me, my wife ran into this lady. This is how God works. This lady she met had a school, but she only had one student. So like, how you have a school with one student, right? Because right now, if you think about it, don't that kind of mess you up? Is it a home school? No, it's an actual school, but she only got one student. Like, how do you have a school with one student? You ain't never seen a hospital with like one bed, right? Go to a bank, they like, we got $20. That's all we got. All right, we got a dub for you. That's it. We got $20. So when she met this lady, she asked the lady, how are you running a school with one student? And the lady told her. She said, all my other students graduated. This is my last student. When she graduates, I'm shutting my school down. And then it dawned on us, maybe we can run a school. Said, tell us everything. We started talking to her, and I was like, all right, what if we ran a school? But if we run a school, it got to be different. Because we learned from the beauty supply store that black people don't always support black people. And just because they're your skin folk don't mean they're your kin folk, right? So I'm like, man, okay, what can we do? It got to be something different. It's got to be something that I would want from my childhood. It's got to be something that's exciting that we're good at. Well, I just started getting good at this thing called entrepreneurship. And I was like, what if every student who attended the school had to start a small business and it got to make money? Like, because when I was in school, if I could be making money in school, because in my mind, the drug dealers was always dope. They was always dressed fly. They was always posted up. The drug dealers was super dope. They had, my big cousin was one of the chiefs out of, anybody from the city, my big cousin was a chief in Foster Park, went to jail, went to federal prison on international trafficking charges. When I was younger, he used to send us bags of clothes, bags of shoes, all kind of stuff. I wore those once. Like, you wore those once? The kids at school think I got money. Wearing all hand-me-downs, baby. All hand-me-downs, right? He used to buy us stuff. When I was younger, I used to go with him to little homes. They would go into these little abandoned homes and lift the floorboards up and stuff money underneath the floorboards, because when you're a dope dealer making that much money, what can you do? It's only so many cars you could buy, so much clothes you can buy. It ain't like you about to go rinse the money. You're not about to launder the money. You ain't the Kennedys, right? So he had all that money. He ended up in jail, just so the young folks know, like, yeah, he was getting it. No, he wasn't getting it like that. Not for that bid he did. He did 10 in the feds, and he only got out on a technicality. They messed up on the paperwork. I can't afford that price, so that wasn't the thing to do. But the dope dealers always look dope in the community. So I was like, but what if we could give the children something where they had their own money? So when the drug dealer approaches our children, like, let me put you on, they be like, I got my own bag, I'm cool. And I was like, yo, we gotta show our children how to do this, because for me, I suffered for all these years as an adult because nobody ever showed me that I could do it myself. So because I suffered, I don't want our children to suffer. So the first idea was, let's say every child got to start a small business. And I was like, well, it got to be more though, because that's not enough. It got to be more. So the next thing was, my wife came up with it. She said, what if, because literacy is so bad, we get children involved in literacy through money. Every child got to publish a book of their own at least once a year. Every child got to become a published author, from ages of 4 all the way up to seniors in high school. I was like, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope, right? So then I was like, we onto something. We cooking with fish grease right now. We onto something. So then I was like, all right, but here's what I don't want to happen. We get the children in front of us. We start teaching, educating them. They making money. What do we know about black people when they start getting money? Louis Vuitton coming up, right? Gucci coming up, right? Every PlayStation is off the shelf. We spending that money everywhere except, do y'all know of the $1.6 trillion of spending power that the black community has, only 1.2% comes back into the black community? If that was, they talk about the dollar bill circulating, our circulation is dead. Ain't no circulation. We would have died from asphyxiation, all right? So I look at, okay, well, we got to do something to connect entrepreneurship to authorship, because now we can get the children reading, get them interested in literacy, we get them interested in making money, which is going to help with math class, but we got to give them something to root them. We're doing Black History every week. I'm on a Black History research team too, so that kind of helps. So I'm like, we're doing Black History every single week, because I knew in the public school, when I used to volunteer in the public school, and we come in for Black History Month, it'd be like a picture of MLK, and it don't even be the real picture. It'd be like a knockoff picture. I'm like, who is this guy? They'd be like, oh, every day is Black History. And it'd just be this one picture in the back of the school. You got to dig to find it. Educators, y'all feel, I don't know how Beloit is, but if y'all like all the public schools I've been in and worked in, it's like that, right? So then we brought Black History, and I was like, all right, this is a good foundation. But now that we got the foundation, now what can we give our children to really make them like go crazy, right? What can we give them to go crazy? So one of the first things I did as we started to get established, and this is coming back from Atlanta. This is what Atlanta did for me. Everybody I met as a multimillionaire, like, you got to come to my school and speak. I need you to inspire the young people. I need them to see millionaires that look like them. I need them to see founders that look like them. I need them to see businesses that have done over $1 billion in revenue, but it's black owned. I need them to see that. And do you know what happened? I'm gonna give you all this short piece and I'm gonna get into this. One of the young boys that was in our school, I had this brother, A. Donahue Baker, come speak. One of the young brothers, because he owns a fintech bank. The young brother said, black people can own banks? I was like, man, it dawned on me. We don't, as a people, we're like the fleas. Until we see it, we don't even think it's possible. Black Lives Matter was happening. I was telling folks, like, why don't you start your own police department? Like, we can't start our own police department. Why not? You just never seen it. Other communities say, y'all ever been to Chinatown before? Pull it. Them police look like them, talk like them. They know Mandarin, right? We're the only people. Me and my wife started looking into building our own credit union. We're like, we don't have a bank. Let's build our own credit union. And then we came to find out Do y'all know, we got this, we're working on this right now. That's our current project. Do you know how easy it is to build a credit union? You just got to charter it, and you got to have like $40,000 in the bank. Not even. You got to have a certain amount to open to cover it. You don't even got to have a location. You got like a P.O. box. It's simple. So I started thinking about all these different institutions that we could have and own, but we just never seen it. We like the fleas in the jar. We waiting for somebody to come along that's like, yo, did you know we can do this? We could do that. It's a sister who goes to our school. Her children go to our school. She's a doctor. She got her own practice. And the children was like, you work for yourself? Who's your boss? She's like, I'm the boss. They're like, but who tells you what to do? She said, I tell me what to do. They were shook. Because how many times you see a black clinic that's black owned, and it ain't no small spot. It's huge, right? But when you see something, now this is why all our young boys want to be basketball players. They want to be rappers. That's what they see. I want to be 2 Chainz. I want to be whoever, Lil this, Lil that, right? I want to be whoever, Dirk. I mean, Dirk is cool, but I don't know if that's the example. You can be more than Dirk is my point, right? You can be more than just an actor. Those are good, but even for our young people, the illusion of Hollywood is crazy. Y'all know most of our entertainers are broke? Oh, y'all not hearing me. I done did security for some of these people. They are broke. Some of these people live like you and I live, except they on commercials. Some of these people, when they heard EBT was going down, they was like, oh, what we gonna do? Yeah? Like, y'all think there ain't no jokes. Like, a lot of our entertainers are broke, but it looks good because they got on a gold chain or whatever, you know? I had some chains on the other day because, I dress for my students, so I had my little chains on the other day. I was swaggy, the young people say. Well, I don't know. Is that what y'all say now? I think at one point in time I was on fleek or something. I don't know. I was on fleek at one point. Then I had that was P, and I just can't keep up. I don't know. Whatever it was, though, young people, I was that, right? I was that, whatever it was. And my students was like, oh. They asked me, they was like, your chain's real? I asked them, what difference do it make? I said, do you know what kind of assets I have? I said, I said, if I spent $100,000 on this chain, if I spent $10 on the chain, how does it look? Oh, it look fire. That's the lesson. Because most of the people that you see, they not wearing real stuff, no way. Who cares if it's real? It's about the look, right? Lesson of the day. Anyway, I'm gonna get to my school. So my school's mission statement, it's not just a school, it's a launch pad. This is what we came up with, right? We turn students into scholars, authors, entrepreneurs, and who shape their own futures, lead their communities with excellence. And every student at our school, like I told you, they publish a book, build a business, masters of academics. Do you know that almost every student who attends our school is at least a grade to a grade and a half above where they should be at grade level? Oh, hey, you give it up for the students. You give it up for the students. Y'all should give it up for yourselves too. Y'all look beautiful. Give it up for yourselves one time. Y'all look beautiful. Y'all look beautiful. So, they're like, well, what's the secret? What's the secret? So I'm gonna brag on my daughter right quick. I got a 15-year-old. She's sweet. She's daddy little girl or whatever. But when she was 2, we got videos of her on Facebook. At age 2, she was doing like high-level math, right? So we got her at the board at 2, and she like, 10,746,874,333,123 plus, and like she knew the place value, all that, right? I want to say it's me, but no, that's God. That it ain't Dad. You know what I'm saying? We invested time in her, but she's been brilliant her whole life. We put her in private school in kindergarten, and she tested into the 4th grade in kindergarten, and they was like, nah, it's got to be off. So they took her and put her in the 4th grade room, and she went in and started doing their math problems, and they was like, what's going on? So we've had a smart daughter our whole life, and people always ask us, what do you do with her? We want to do with our child. And guess what? Y'all want to know the secret? Y'all ready? Y'all want to write this down? We just spent time. That's all. We just spent time. Everything is education. The worst place to learn education is in 4 walls. Cause let's be honest. If you're over 18, I ain't gonna ask no ages. But if you're over 18, raise your hand. Over 18? If you're over 18, when the last time somebody asked you what kind of grades you got in school? Do it matter? I've been telling my students, like, listen, just get through the class. You gotta learn the basics. You have to learn fundamentally, but your grades don't matter. I mean, yeah, you wanna be honor roll, it's gonna help you get a scholarship into college if that's where you wanna go. Yeah, but that ain't what it's about. It's about what's in here and what you're doing with what's in here that you're gonna build for who's out there. right? That's what it's about. So I know some people be looking like, ooh, you said grades don't matter. Grades don't matter. You go build a school and tell me that grades matter, because across the country right now, do y'all see teachers crashing out? Have y'all been on social media? Teachers are quitting in droves because young people can't read. Young people, it's something happening, but part of it is the system. Yes, it's part of the system, but part of it is time is not being deposited into our children, and teachers are not babysitters. Our job to educate. Do y'all know that by the 3rd grade, if your child can't read by the 3rd grade, that them prisons is waiting for them? They build prisons based on 3rd grade reading levels. In Rockford, the superintendent came out and spoke at Guilford High School one day, and he said 60% of the children in Rockford enter kindergarten through RPS 205 unprepared for kindergarten, and that trend carries through to senior year. That's why there's a 40% graduation rate. The same 40% who came in ready is the same 40% who graduate, right? The prisons love it. They're always building prisons. It's something about investing time into children and letting them know that you love them. I don't know if I'm a butcher it. It's like this African proverb. It says something like, if a child doesn't feel the warmth of the village, he'll burn it down to feel the warmth of the fire or something. Y'all heard that? No? Did I mess it up? All right, somebody Google that and let me know what the real actual thing is. But all right, so this is our school. If this plays, I just wanted to show you. This is my guy, Marquell out in Atlanta, his company. Hundreds of students, made published authors. They got coloring books. They have chapter books. They have all kind of stuff that they sell. Like, here's the thing. My man DC in the back can tell you, right? When parents come talk to us about, man, it's tight on tuition this month, we be like, well, how many books have you sold? Because you could pay your child's tuition off in book sales. Then your child gets the experience, makes money, they keep the profit, you put the other part back into tuition covered, and you straight. You just got to get up and go do something. Parents like, I'll get back to you, right? But hundreds of students made published authors, right? I was going to show, we've been in the national news, we've been in all kind of stuff, TV, podcast, radio. Where is it? This was our first, This is our first high school graduate. We went down to Houston to do his graduation because during COVID, you had to go, we created a virtual component. So we had students in California, we had students in Michigan, we had students in Texas, we had students in the Carolinas, we had students all across the country virtually. And our virtual students actually performed better than our in-person students during COVID. They're like, what was y'all doing? Just giving time, that's all. And what else to do during COVID, man, read this book, right? Nothing, you gotta stay inside. This is us in St. Louis, because we had our connection in St. Louis. This was Atlanta. They donated they've donated maybe $20,000, $30,000 to a school in a couple years. Oh, this is what I want to show y'all, if it plays. This is the sister I was saying about, a doctor, if it plays.
Hi, my name is Dr. Alicia Robinson, board-certified general surgeon, fellowship-trained breast surgeon, natural health and holistic nutrition practitioner, and I have a public service announcement. My daughters, Jewel and Malika, have both attended KIKIFER'S Academy, and Yaya currently attends KIKIFER'S Academy. And I want to let you in on a little secret. Come closer. It is the best entrepreneurial business academy here in the greater Winnebago, Boone County area, and the best in Illinois. So click the link below, find out more information about how you can enroll your child, your son, your daughter, your grandkids, whoever you love. If you see them, if you watch them, if you babysit them, enroll them at KIKIFER'S Academy. It will be the best investment you can do for your child.
All right, so I just want to show her right quick, because what we're doing, you can do. It's nothing special about us that ain't special about you. Matter of fact, most of y'all in this room are probably my superior, because I could probably go to each one of y'all. I know I can go to each one of y'all and learn something new that I didn't know before that makes you my superior. And right now, you have something in you that you can give to young people that will inspire them to be great. And once you plant the seed, your job is just a seed planter. God gonna grow it, right? But it's your job to plant the seed. And right now in this room, there's enough people. Y'all, listen, I wish I had this type of support. When we got started, do y'all know it was me, it was my wife, it was my daughter. We started off, we came up with the idea for the school in June of 2019. Yes, in June of 2019, we had the idea. By July, we had made flyers. And in August, we started with 7 students. And I just went out talking in the public like we was already established. I was like, listen, we got the #1 academy. Like y'all ever open yet? No, but we gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we can do stuff y'all can't do because I control the curriculum. And we did stuff that I knew the public schools couldn't do. We like, hey, we need a list of every black-owned business out here. We're going to visit every single one. Because education ain't just the 4 walls. Real education is traveling, culture, ethics, going to learn about what other people do. That's real education, right? So we field trips, we went and seen. Now, most of those businesses are not still open. That's what happened in the black community, right? That number we talked about, 100, over 2,500. Out of that 100, only 18 of those businesses will make it past the first year, or past the first year and a half. Of those businesses that are left, like 1 or less than 1 will ever make it to survive to the year number 5. And then you got to do that like 10 times over to have a black-owned business that's going to break 6 figures. Like if you know some business owners right now, I be telling my children, you might know some hustlers. How many business owners do you know that look like you that have multiple employees? Because the number says 99.97% of black-owned businesses never grow to the point of breaking 6 figures or having the capacity to hire multiple people outside of the owner and maybe their spouse. That's most black businesses. Because what issues do we suffer from? We don't got what? Y'all. Thank you. We don't got the capital. We don't have resources, right? We're resourceful. We don't got the credit. Do y'all know when I owned my beauty supply store? Me and my brother also owned a beauty supply store. We went to the Asian cash and go, or carry and go. And he walked in there with like a 800-something credit score. Had his bank account immaculate. Went to go get some inventory. They gave him all this like braiding hair up front. It was like, you got to move like $50,000 worth of braiding hair. At the same time, there was like an Asian couple that came in there, like fresh to the country, like could barely speak English. They fronted them with a net 5 years for like $5 million worth of inventory. Okay, y'all raise your hand if you don't know what a net 5 years means. Raise your hand if you don't know what a net, who does not know what a net 5 years is? Thank you for the honesty, young people. Some folks like, I know exactly what that is. I had a net 5 years just the other day. Net 5 years means they were given $5 million worth of product that they had 5 years to pay back. They didn't have to put up a dime. All they had to do was secure the location. We came in cash in hand and with credit and was given the bottom of the barrel stuff and told to take it out. But I ain't mad at them. When you're in control of something, that's how you keep the power. The problem is all of the products that was being used by mostly black women. But all of the ownership was owned by people that wasn't black women. That's the problem. As if they, listen, y'all, I ain't no hair specialist or nothing, but it's only so much stuff that's gonna make the hair grow. Enough vitamin E, right? Enough MCT oil. There's only so much stuff. And then guess what happens whenever black people do get business and it's successful? They give us an offer we can't refuse, right? That's BET over there. Let me get that, right? That's Jet Magazine. Let me get that. Oh, y'all got Fat Farm? Let me get that. That's Def Jam. Let me get that, right? They give us an offer we can't refuse because if you're from the hood, okay, some of y'all looking like the hood. All right, speak on myself. If you're from the hood and somebody come to you like, listen, this is life-changing money, $10 million for your business. You selling? How many of us have the resolve to see the long-run picture to be like, I'm not selling my business for that $10 million. I'm going to keep making $5,000 a month, right? Until I get to that point. How many of us have the resolve? It sounds real good. Business is warfare. And if you don't know the science of business, or you don't know the science of warfare, you're not going to survive in business. Sound real good. Nah, man, listen. They offer me, I'm staying down for my people. Yeah, all right. You start thinking to yourself like, man, I sure am tired of sleeping on that flat bed. Man, I sure need a vacation, right? Tired of going on these week vacations. I want to go on a vacation. Where Beyonce and them be at? I'm trying to go to Turks and Caicos. I'm going on vacation to Dominican Republic. I need to upgrade. It sounds good, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it. And there are a lot of successful black people out there that are multimillionaires, successful CEOs, founders that have businesses, but they don't get put in the spotlight. Most of the time, if the media has put them in front of you, even if it's black media, because black media is not controlled by black people, most of the time, the people that are put in front of you are put in front of you for a reason, because they already know the resolve is not there. Because the moment you see somebody that look like you, and it's the flea that can jump 6 feet, what you gonna start doing? Oh, I can do that, right? Okay, look, fellas, y'all rock with me here, right? I'm gonna show my age. There's this guy in the NBA named Stephen Curry, right? Somebody, what did Steph Curry do to the NBA? The GOAT. Well, he the what? The GOAT. Who can shoot better than Steph Curry? He changed the entire league. Folks weren't pulling up from half court before Steph Curry, right? Once they saw Steph Curry consistently hit threes from anywhere, that boy be in his bed at home like, 3 cola, that's good. Splash Brothers, right? That boy don't miss. Once they saw Steph do that, we start realizing, wait a second, centers. I'm talking brothers 6'11", coming down, lengthy, boom, half court. Buddy, running away, right? Because we saw Steph Curry do it. Steph Curry is like the flea. That once the NBA players saw him do it, the NBA changed. It wasn't like that before Steph Curry. Before Steph Curry, they used to get in the post and box, you know, all right, y'all, okay, no, y'all, okay. All right. I'm just saying, when you see it, you believe it, then you know you can do it. That's my point. You know you can do it. So for a lot of our young people, I just need you to know that the goal and the mission. So I talked to our sister Wanda. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, I'm really gonna show y'all. So I talked to her. She told me what the goal was. I'm like, I'm with that. And support is right around the corner. This is our About Us page right quick. Kind of like our timeline. I went through this with you already, but our timeline, we started 2019. Something cool had happened. Y'all, hey, do any of y'all in here nobody like the law of attraction? Any of y'all into that? Like quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and law of attraction, manifesting, and all that? Are y'all? Few? All right, so check this out. This ain't part of what I'm supposed to be sharing with y'all, but it's dope. I had to share it with y'all. So when we first started our school, I told y'all we started on the second floor of our beauty supply store, right? We broke every law you could break. You can't have no school there. Wasn't no safety precautions. We had no fire extinguishers. We ain't running no safety checks. We just did it because who gonna tell me I can't? These are babies. Come up in here and do something. You can arrest me. Do it, prove it. Hey, if you ain't finna do that, then I'm standing on what I stand on. And when I was in the streets, I stood on business. I'm definitely gonna stand on business with paperwork. You gonna come arrest me? I'm gonna be a hero. You know what I'm saying? My heroes got arrested. Come arrest me then. So we started the school. After the first semester, we outgrew the space. We had too many students after the first semester because students was joining every single week. We had too many students after the first semester. We had to get to a new location. Two things happened. The first thing that happened, the city of Rockford came to my beauty supply store. And this guy came in, he's like, I'm from, what's it called, DC? Not DCFS. No, if they would have came, we would have got the scrapping. They be telling lies. Hey, listen, we gonna have to fight. We make fighters over here. Ain't no punks over here. Is it Department of Human Services? Not Department of Human Services. The people who make sure the laws are being followed, like all the city rules and regulations are being followed. Well, they came to my store, code regulator. Yeah, they came to our store with a big old book full of all the violations they found at our store. Because secretly, they was hating on our school, and they was like, we finna shut them down from the inside. And he showed up, and the guy came in, he said, are you, they call you Brother Henry? I said, that's me. He said, I have some bad news for you. I hate to inform you. Is there a school here? And I just chuckled, and I was like, there was. What he didn't know was that because we had so many students, we had to find a new location. We couldn't fit everybody no more. And so the only black-owned community center out there gave us a home. We had already moved, like 2 weeks before, when the semester ended. So he came with all this paperwork talking about he was going to shut us down. I'm like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no school here. And he was like, I guess I'll go back and report. I was like, I guess you will. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. But the other cool thing was, and the reason I asked you about manifesting, quantum mechanics, law of attraction, all of that, the reason I asked you is because New Year's Day, we went to one of the sisters' houses that we know, and she had these little books. And instead of doing vision boards, we did vision books. And my wife drew this picture, and she was like, one day we're going to have a school just like this. And then we didn't realize until I went to the Kwanzaa event, they asked me to speak, and I was speaking. And when we got there, they was like, the lady pulled me to the side, and she was like, hey, we would be interested. It really would give us a lot of promotion if you would bring your school here. And we was like, ding! I went back and looked at my wife's book. The picture she drew was the exact picture of what we got. I was like, oh, this is dope. Because I didn't know nothing about no manifesting at that time. I just was like, we just was rolling, right? So that happened. Then our school ended up getting invited to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was pretty dope. It was the 100th centennial of Black Wall Street. So it was like OSU campus. So we took like 20 students to Tulsa, Oklahoma. They got to go see everything that's still there. It's on OSU campus. And then I learned this really crazy story. If you ever down in Tulsa, check it out. OSU's baseball field, where it sits like right off of like Pine and, what is that? Pine and Gap, right? Greenwood, Pine and Greenwood. They said when they went to go to to excavate the land, to dig it up, to put the baseball field there, they found thousands of undocumented bodies of black folks. So the stories we hear about Black Wall Street is underrepresented. The real reality of how many people they slaughtered in Black Wall Street is we just don't know. They said they found thousands of bodies, and that story never left Tulsa, right? That story never left Tulsa, but our children got to see it. We got to meet celebrities, like Roland Martin was out there, EYL was out there, the Panther Party was out there, all kind of folks was out there, and we was just smiling. And do you know what happened though? The Black Art Museum out there said, any of your children do art, you can send your art to us and we'll sell it for them, and we'll send the money back. The Black Bookstore was out there like, y'all children are authors, send us your books. We'll sell your books, right? We start making connections with our people because you gotta get up and go do the work. It ain't gonna happen on its own, but you gotta be dedicated to it. And now, you know, if you ever took 20 teenagers in some vans, adults, y'all got to be prepared, right? Because they're still teenagers now, don't get it twisted, right? Our young folks is our young folks. They was wilding, but we had to do what we had to do. On the way down there, we stopped at a gas station. This got nothing to do with what I'm supposed to be telling y'all. We stopped at this gas station. An alarm went off on all the radios and inside the gas station because it was like the weather was really bad. And they was like, hey, we was right next to, I think, like Joplin, driving through Missouri. If y'all know about Joplin, y'all know this is the place that God hates. This is the place that God destroys with tornadoes on a consistent basis. Entire city, a few, was it 10 years ago or something like that? Almost like 90% of the city got wiped out. Like, it's real. A thing came over the radio that was like, listen, the tornado has touched down. It is like an F4. You can either seek shelter someplace, but you need to get off the road. So I thought to myself, should we seek shelter in this gas station? We're going to get up, say, hey, everybody get in the van, we got to go. Children were scared, like, oh my God, we're going to die. I was like, maybe, I don't know. It's in God's hands now, it's above me. It's above me. And we got in them vans, I seen the storm back that way, we headed that way. I'm like, we out of here. That picture y'all see in St. Louis, by the time we made it to St. Louis, boy, we was, ooh, it was great. It was a great day. But that's it's part of the war stories that you build when going through. I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost there. All right, so we got invited to Tulsa. They honored our school as the future of Black entrepreneurship. Got to do panels, all kind of stuff. That was pretty dope. Since then, we've been awarded by the state of Illinois, state representatives, graduated. Do y'all know our high school graduate that we graduated? His crowning achievement was he made $25,000 in a day. Wow. So y'all heard that number, like, yeah, they did 50,000. Yeah, half of that was one student. Wow. One student. He called me, and he was like, Brother Henry. I was like, what's up, man? He was like, I'm so excited. I did everything you told me to do. I was like, oh, slow down. What are you talking about? He's like, I just made $25,000. I was like, yo, wait, hold on. What'd I tell you to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I did everything you told me to do. He went on YouTube for like 8 hours straight and just watched video after video and took meticulous notes. And in the midst of like COVID, he went and learned how to do like a master NFT. I don't know. Sold it 25 bands. I was like, you did 25 bands in that bag right there? Only my paid in full fans understand what's happening with that, right? I could tell some backgrounds. If you don't know paid in full, don't worry about it. Those who know, right? Hey, you got 25 bands in that bag right there? All right. But we was proud of him. I was like, what? Then he turned around and made like another 9,000 like the next month. I was like, yo, this boy, and we don't calculate that into the what all the students have done. Boy, killing, right? We had students, my daughter, I'm so proud of her. She was doing like $2,500 a month tutoring because she's brilliant, right? I was like, when I tutor, I don't get these same results. And I'm a teacher, right? I'm much more entrepreneur and innovator than I am educator. That's why, so I hope by this point, like nobody like, oh, he got a jogging outfit on. Yeah, it was a long day. Listen, I thought about dressing professional for y'all, but I was like, listen, I gotta come. My entrepreneur side, the reason I started a business so I could dress the way I want to dress. I got results. So it don't matter how I'm dressed. If you could beat my results, I'll dress differently. But until then, you can't beat my numbers. What are we talking about, right? What are we talking about? So, going through, DC giving me all the signs. I got you, DC. No, they got it set up for, I got it, yep. So we made it to Atlanta, all kind of stuff. Our students have been on TV, podcasts, radio, magazines, all kind of stuff. We shoot, there's like an arcade in Rockford called Tilted 10, and we've shot a few commercials with them. They give our students like $40 to go to the arcade and do race cars and all that stuff, and then we get to wear our school Perry. So we in the commercials and our children just running around, and it's a dual situation. Everybody wins. So yeah, that's the timeline of how we built the school out. And then here's another thing. Here's one other thing that we do. That's why I like this room though. One of the secret things that we also did was make sure black men were present, because women have ran everything in the black community, and it's not that our sisters haven't held it down. But in order for the community to like go the way it's supposed to, men got to step up and be men, because men are supposed to be the protectors of the community, right? And so one of the things I did was I hired a bunch of black men that I was like, listen, I know you ain't educated, and I know you ain't got no background, and I know you really don't offer much, but you're black and you care about the children. I just need you to be a presence in the hallway. When the young boys run out, check them, because when you got a black on school, it's different. You can't run that same game, right? Oh man, come here, man. Man. Hey, at our school, we don't believe in suspension, but we do believe in punishment. And punishment comes in the form of wall sits. And do you know how correct children get when they got to do wall sits? We have some children flare up like, man, you're what? Because we also got a no fighting rule, no play fighting. And if you want to fight, you can't fight an individual. We're going to put you in a circle, and you got to fight all of us, teachers all the way down. So if you think you can whoop all of us, I'm going to be the first in line, because I'm going to tear that backside up. Students be like, man, you know what? They be on the wall like, man. Trying to tell you, right? Because it's out of love. Do you know, these babies love us. Love us. And if wall sits, they start getting good. Now, some of these children do so much wall sits, they be on the wall looking at us like, when I get older. You're like, okay. All right, time for mountain climbers. We got to switch it up, right? Burpees. We gonna run you through there, right? So, but it's done out of love, and the children love it, because our community is unique in that the world follows our community. We set the trends. We set culture. There ain't no culture without black people, right? Who wants chicken with no seasoning? Raise your hand. You see what I'm saying? We the seasoning. We the Lowry seasoning on the chicken of the world, if y'all follow that metaphor, all right? So, told y'all about those things that we do, but understand that right now, y'all got it. Like, honestly, y'all don't need me. I'm just being honest with you. You've heard the word, right? In your mind right now, ideas are already spinning. You honestly don't need me. Be honest with you. Okay. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. You don't need me. Sound good, right? All right. So let me try to get through here. You don't need to worry about our team.
Go back to the
Team.
What are the positions?
Oh, they don't worry about that. I mean, it's people, positions. Like we're a 501c3, so we got to have a board. We got to have president, vice president, chair, treasurer. We got to have that because the school is a 501c3. So HR. Do y'all know that we've hired more black people in Rockford than any other black-owned business in the city, in the history? We just put people on. And listen, some of those hires we should have took back. That's a different story. All right? It ain't all good. Get you an HR department. All right, so yeah, we published dozens of books. And here's something else I didn't mention. I want to mention it before we get into Q&A, is parent involvement. It's tough. Me and DC was just having this conversation. Because even with all that, you still got to force parents' hands. But there's ways to force parents' hands. Like if you late too many times, you paying a late fee. And tuition got to be on time or your child got to go to public school. And it's just ways, right? Oh, you can't afford it? Okay, come volunteer at the school then. Everybody, we have a village mentality. It's an open door policy. You don't got to make no appointments to come to us. Parents can pop in at any given time because everybody from the teachers all the way down should be held accountable at all times, including myself. You don't got to make no appointment, come pop, because it's not just if your student is misbehaving in class, how's the teacher treating your child? That's also important. When I worked in the public school, one thing this white lady used to come in when I worked at Kennedy, and she used to come into school every day for the first 2 periods, put shades on, put her head down, turn the TV on, and that would be her class every day. So one day I asked her, like, yo, like, what's to you? Like, why you, the first 2 periods, you don't even do nothing. She was like, oh, I'm so tired. I drive here from the south suburbs. I've got to do 2 years to get to the school I really want, and I work the night shift. And I was like, you work the night shift? Then stuff started tallying up to me. I was like, what kind of night shift you work? That you come in here with, huh? The night shift? What you? Yeah, it is what you thought it was. She told me. I was like, well, how do you feel about our children then? Right? Because when little Jamal come in here and he feels some sort of way because he just saw his mama get beat last night, and he got these things going on that, where's the therapist for him at? Where's the person to pour love into him? Where's the person he can relate to when he comes into school? Our children get suspended for coming to school with a do-rag on. I come to school with a do-rag on, you know what I'm saying? Get it together, right? But culturally, every other culture on the planet takes care of itself. We're the only people who culturally expect somebody else. Do y'all imagine going into Africa, your first time there? You go on a safari, you see Simba out there. He's like Mufasa. What is it? Mufasa. And all of a sudden, you see Simba, and he being taught by the hyenas how to be a lion. How crazy would that be? The hyena is teaching Simba how to be a lion, right? No, we got to have some type of pride. It's not that, it doesn't make you racist to be able to pour into your own children. Only we understand our experience because we're the only ones who suffer through it. You don't understand what driving while black is until you driving while black. You don't understand what it means to be followed through a store until you follow through a store. Now, I've been in stores before, I was like, I know I make more money than you. You following me? All right, listen, I ain't the richest man on earth, but I know I make more money than you. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So anyway, I'm closing this out. I won't even get to the slide because I think where we went is good for what y'all need for tonight. This is some of the things we're working on right now. We're working on opening a chapter in Atlanta with my brother Marquell. So we have a location, we got staff, we just need to get students. So we're working on opening another school in Atlanta, and then we're working on opening our 3rd school in Houston. And we actually have requests to open schools around the country, which is crazy to me because I'm like, yo, y'all know I ain't no educator, right, y'all? I'm just as crazy as the children. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want me work with your children? But for all the educators out there, I turn to y'all and hats off because a lot of the game I come to y'all to get. My little brother, by the way, is a principal. He got his own school. It's crazy. And he got the education. I don't got the education he does, though. He's way more educated than me. But he ain't beat me in none of the numbers. So that's good. So KA University, we want to have a platform for parents because it's really difficult to teach children entrepreneurship and then send them home to their parents, and their parents like, what's this? Right. Parents have no clue what's going on, right? And even a lot of the parents who are entrepreneurs who attend our school, when I go sit down with them and do consultations, or they want me to be, they want to become a client of mine or something, and I go through their business portfolio, I realize they have no clue what they're doing. Because just like I was in the black community, lost, because nobody was teaching entrepreneurship that looked like me, we just trying to wing it and figure it out. And the worst thing you can do as an entrepreneur is try to get it out the mud. I know what the rappers say. I got it out the mud. Nobody gets it out the mud by themselves. Anybody that tells you they self-made is a liar. There's nothing self-made about me. It's all kind of people that poured into me that I didn't even deserve. Undeserved love was poured into me. But that's how it should be, all right? We grow in our community. Also, I told Sister Wanda, I said, you can invite your people to our AI workshop. I invited you because there's something that we do with AI that can completely replace me, completely, right? I was showing my coach has $1 billion business. He was there at the event, and when he seen it, he was like, I would have paid $15,000 to learn this. This is crazy. Can you send it to me? This is somebody with $1 billion evaluation. Like, can you send it to me? Like that, like, by the way, I don't have a lot of time to talk about this. We're about to go into the Q&A, but if you're not teaching your children AI right now, you're failing them children right now. The world that we live in is already artificially intelligent, and if you're not preparing children for tomorrow, today, you're already behind the gun. If you're one of them teachers like, don't use ChatGPT, why? Why not? Now, don't depend on ChatGPT. It's gonna send you off, all right? Y'all wanna know something dope? My wife built we have a federal lawsuit pending right now against Winnebago County. It's in litigation. My attorney is whooping their backside, just so y'all know. Kudos to my attorney. We have a federal lawsuit in litigation right now that we built the majority of the case through ChatGPT. That's a secret. Wow. That it can be done. My wife went through and showed everybody how she did it. They was like, you can do that? Yeah, you can do that. Just gotta lock in. All right, so anyway, we're building our community. My brother also has a consulting agency. Me and him do work together all the time. Everywhere you always see us together, doing everything together. And it's so that not only are we educating the young people, we're educating the adults so that both can get it, right? Both can get it. And then, of course, our national expansion, Atlanta and Houston is next for us. After Atlanta and Houston, I have a sister who owns a multi-million-dollar facility out in, is it Philly? I think in Philly. She wants us to come out there, but my problem with Philadelphia and Chicago is they're the same city. And it's gonna take a little bit of work for Philly and Chicago. It's a little bit different, monster, because of politics, because of the youth, because of the culture, because of what's happening. But that's where we at. So at this time, I think should be enough. Did I miss anything? There's more, but yeah, that's just it. All right, so I'm gonna open up for Q&A, right? We opening up for Q&A? We opening up for Q&A? Is that what we're doing? How we going? Okay. Please and thank you. All right, that's all I got for y'all. That's all I got for y'all. Whew.
And just to give you a little something, you know, when you hear things, you want to think about how this applies to you and your circumstances and your situation, because then you can change those things that you need to change within yourself so that you can make those goals and those accomplishments. And one of the things that I think that is very important is when he talked about seeing yourself. That, you know, and one of the things about here in Beloit is the simple fact that so many of our African American and educators of color have left the district, but they have not been replaced by those that look like the majority or a great portion of our students. So, you know, we have that voice, and we need to be voicing those opinions, you know. As someone who spent 33 years in the system and then retired, it's still work that definitely needs to be done within the way that they treat African American educators, as well as the impact that that has on our students as well. And also one thing about standing on principle. You know, I'll just say, due to some of the experiences that I did have, I have found it's okay to make them waves. Because when you sit by idly and you don't make those waves, that's what gives them the right to do the things or make them think that it's okay for them to treat you the way that they do. So make some waves. Make some waves. So I'm going to get out of the way and I'm going to open it up because I got a few little notes here, but I want to give everyone else an opportunity that if you do have questions that you are able to get your questions asked and answered. But just remember that as a community, our children, and they're all our children, and we are here to serve them and to make sure that they are getting what they need so that they can excel, so they can be that flea that makes that jump and not have that ceiling on them. So I'm going to open it up to anyone that may have any questions. Not everybody at once.
I did that good of a job, huh?
Okay, yes.
So with the students, the profitability of running a school, are you receiving vouchers? Like as a student, are they like open enrolled out of RPS into your school? And then as you said, you went from 7 to they just coming in. Because I imagine once people have a choice, they're already dissatisfied with what they're receiving.
Right.
But they need to come in. How did you manage this? Like you said, 2 weeks later, like I said, by the end of the semester, you're in a different building. But how did you handle that scalability where you already determined that we just gonna grow as many as come, we gonna take them all? Or like, what was the mindset towards that?
Pardon my seat. Let me. All right. So I'm be honest with you. Like at that part of the journey, we had no clue. We was literally just making it up. Like we were still learning as we went. Right. So it was like, listen, we just knew we knew we couldn't teach every black child in the city, but we wanted to. The goal was like we wanted to. So as they came, we just was figuring stuff out. And so like that's where negotiations come in at. One of the big lessons I learned is you got to have an attorney, because if you don't have an attorney in business, it's gonna come back to bite you. So you got to have, it's like certain pieces we had to have. We had to have an attorney, and we learned that lesson. And then even, scalability, going from one spot to another spot, a bigger location, more bills, more things we had to pay. I forgot to mention, when we first started, we didn't have no teachers. It was just me and my wife. So we didn't have the overhead of paying staff. It was just us. We had to grow into staff once we got to a point where it was like, we can't handle this many students, or we're going to have to cut it off at this limit. We got to have teachers. And then the systems that we set up and run, we made it possible so that way we don't have to, how can I say this the right way? I'm about to say, put my foot in my mouth. There's ways to organize financing so that you get the best result, right? And you some of it you learn, but a lot of it I got because I was around people. A lot of our benefit came from me being around people that knew way more than me, right? So on the education side, I went to educators. On the entrepreneurship side, I went to my entrepreneur friends that I had made, and I'm like, yo, this is my problem. I'm not sure how to solve it. This is the outcome I would like. Can you help me walk through the problem? And they would help us, solve different problems. So it pays to have, they say friends in high places, because they helped us walk through scalability. And actually, it's not scalability, it's growth. You don't hit scale until you get to $1 million. $1 million and your team growing your team out of scale. Anything other than that is just your growth process. So.
Okay. Awesome. And I think we have another question right back here.
Yes. So this kind of piggybacks on the question that Mr. Levy asked. So for the longest time as we were talking, I thought this was a for-profit organization. And then you mentioned towards the end that you were a non-profit. You keep using the word business. So do you have a for-profit and a non-profit? How does the funding for your organization work?
Oh, that's easy. So 99.9% of schools are not-for-profit, because in order for you to get title funding, you gotta be a 501c3, right? So because we're registered through the Illinois State Board of Education, in order for us to get our title funding, we gotta be a 501c3. Now, I personally have for-profit arms that are within the business, but the business itself is not-for-profit. Doesn't mean you can't make money. It's just the IRS structure is different. So our structure is 501c3. So we receive title funding. We also receive tuition, but we also receive donations, grants, things like that, right? But grants makes it sound like you really can get grants. Grants are here and there. But those are our main ways of receiving money. And then we realized that we have to learn a system of attracting bigger donors to get more money to flow in, so that way you can financially be able to take care of those things. But that's how we get our money. We get our money through tuition, title funding, and through, what was the other one I just said? Donations.
So there's no for-profit and non-profit arm?
The for-profit owned is privatized. I own it. So like we got like the clothing, I own the clothing brand. I own the publishing company. I own everything within, because I can't own the 501c3, right? But I own all of the for-profit arms of that work within the non-for-profit. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
And just a question for myself, as someone who also worked for RPS 205.
Oh, okay, you survived. You need a shirt. I survived RPS 205.
It's still on pause. And as he was talking about too, in regards to the students, so are there any collaborations with like Rockford Public Schools in regards to going in and offering some of those services to students within those schools, or giving them the opportunity to also come and benefit from learning those entrepreneurship skills as well?
Interesting question. So, okay, so first, what's his name? Something Gallagher. Chris Gallagher, somebody. He's like the chief of schools.
Okay.
He came and met with us. And you know, whenever they come meet with you and they're like, we just want to pick your brain, that's exactly what they want to do.
Because they want to take
what you got.
Yes, yes.
And so here's the problem though, right? We put some seasoning on our chicken, right? You want to go give dry chicken. And so here's the thing. They came to us and we were recommended by like people in the community to RPS 205. The chief of schools came and met with us. They're like, oh, we see the numbers, we see the results. They couldn't figure out how to put us in their school because we're not going to drop our blackness, right? And it's not, here's the thing, we've had students at our school that's not black, but all the staff is black. The curriculum's pretty black. We do Black History every week. Like, there's some pride in who we are. And so there's been opportunities for collabs with them. We've collabed with other schools, even other white schools. But RPS 205, the new person over title funding that's there right now was like, listen, like y'all a threat. Like y'all are a threat. Even though all of our children are, if you put our children against any school in Rockford in any type of academic, educational, trivia, debate, whatever, we will whoop the pants off of whoever. So it's not that we're not educating them, but at least from my estimated point of view, it's something about, you know, they say it's like you're racist if you tell the children, you know, your skin is not a badge of shame. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be black and still love yourself. You can be black, like you don't, and slavery is not our only history, right? Like we didn't, because they give it to our children, like we just started off as slaves and then went forward. And it's like, well, did black people exist before slavery, or did God like, slaves must be created, then all of a sudden like we came into creation, you know? So to answer your question, there has been opportunities for collabs, and we have collabed with other schools, and we collab with the other black-owned school out there. We do collabs all the time. And we collab with other white schools, like other private schools, but RPS 205 directly, not necessarily. They did, so they came and asked us how we ran our entrepreneurship program, and they started their own. And then their children all came to us outside of school, because they was like, yo, can you mentor me? Can you help? Whatever. It's a young brother, Nashawn, and he had a clothing line that went crazy. And so they came to me to get the mentorship because the school didn't want to create that pipeline, because if they create the pipeline for me, I'm just going, like, these are my people, bring them in. So that's what had happened. That's what had happened. Is that what I would say? That's what had happened.
Right. Yes.
Quick question. One, thank you for sharing this information and your journey. It's amazing. You mentioned that you own the for-profit arm within the 501c3. So how does that work? What does that look like? So the students, when they publish the books or when they do the businesses, do you get a percentage of that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how you gotta make money. So I'll give you an example. Up until this year, I've had to do like 90% of the work. So absolutely, I was like, hey, listen, we're gonna own the copyright until you get to a certain spot on the books or whatever that's published. And we have to go through the process. There's a whole editing process. There's a whole, like, you know, it's an expensive process to get books made. We just got secret sauce, so we can do it in quicker. And now that AI has caught up, now we can do books like same day turnaround, we can do a book, right? But like the clothing line, like I own the trademark, right? I paid for it, I owned it. So I can't own the 501c3, but I can own everything inside of the business that makes it. I own the Instagram page, right? I own all of the intellectual property that's attached to it. So that way, okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Anybody know who Pinky Cole is? Anybody? Y'all know who Pinky Cole is? Slutty vegan? Do y'all know what happened to her? She lost her business, right? And had to buy it back, right? There's another sister named, they call her Skittles. She had something called Cupcake Mafia. She lost her business. She had to buy it back. The lesson of the day is you need to own what's yours in your initial structure and setup. And if you, like, nobody asked me for no tax advice or nothing like that. I'm not no legal, none of that. But I have people, and I have like a tax consultant and different people that I have around us to help us structure the business. So that way we're taking care of the business side of business.
So just
Right?
a quick follow-up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you own that portion of the business,
Mm-hmm.
which that makes sense, what does ownership look like for your students and families? Because the students can't enter into contracts because they're babies.
Right.
So what does the ownership look like for the students and families that's coming up with the business with a lot of support from you, it sounds like?
Absolutely.
Writing the books, again, with a lot of support, and is that scaffold, like, we are partners in this until you get to this point and then it's yours? Do you always retain a percentage? What does that look like?
Their businesses are their businesses 100%, right? So what I do is, because I'm a high ticket coach, right? So what I do is everything that I would give to my clients, I teach to our students and I help walk them through the process. As long as they're students who go to our school, their parents don't have to pay for that information. They don't have to pay to learn it. They get it in school every day. And so 100% of their business is there. So for example, you had little girl doing, she sells hair products and she sells her books. And what else does Yaya sell? She sells dog treats, all kinds of stuff, right? That's hers, right? She packages it. She does everything. It's professional, like high level professional. It's hers through and through. Only thing I do is I let them know, hey, these events are happening. If you want to do pop-up shops, if you want to do trade shows. When we had, so I didn't mention it, the way me and my wife got into the beauty supply store is because we had a product line with like 69 products. And then we had our product in like some black-owned beauty supply stores, but then we had a deal with Walmart that Walmart signed a deal with us. And then I had a business partner that kind of like snaked the deal. But I learned the process to get your product in like major retail stores. So all of that our students get, and 100% of that money is their money. The only thing that we keep is we make money off the clothing because we put the money up for the re-up and all that. We put the money up for the clothing and we put the money up for like the publishing, right? But other than that, 100% of their business is theirs. If they get their book, they just have to buy their book on wholesale like anybody else. So if I publish my book might cost $6 to publish. I might sell it for $25. If their book costs $6 to publish, they're gonna buy it for $6. If they sell it for $25, all that money is theirs, right? I'm the connector that connects them to the resource, and then of course we teach them how to do it. So, because the goal is you don't need me. The goal is once you learn how to do it on your own, now go run and be fruitful with it, and you can start your own publishing company if you want. Yes, ma'am.
Right. And that goes back to that old proverb about to teach them how to fish.
Teach them how to
You know,
fish,
so
absolutely.
That's going to be my follow-up question too is, knowing about you need to have that lawyer, having those rights and things. And it's a good thing that they're learning that at that young age so that when they do get out into the business world, they won't have someone that can undercut them and,
Absolutely.
take their money because
Tough
they
lesson to
have,
learn.
Right, very tough, very tough. I don't think so.
Okay, well, I've got one, just kind of to piggyback, and then we'll have to cut it off. To piggyback on what Amy asked, in terms of the credit building and the financial literacy, like when the students either write a book or start a business, do they have their own bank account set up? How do they learn the financial part of it?
So yeah, we're big on financial literacy. Very big on financial literacy. And in fact, we're also big on identifying scams because affinity scamming is as popular as financial literacy. So like in the black community, there's this big boom of financial literacy. So you watch like Earn Your Leisure and all these shows, but half the people are scammers, right? So even the information we're being fed sometimes is bad. So our children get the financial literacy. They have their own bank accounts, like their money, like the flex for me is to be able to point to the children and be like, yo, my child balling on y'all, right? Like, so they make their own money. They make their own, the only money that we keep is tuition, of course, because that's ours. They ain't getting none of that. And then outside of tuition, we get a small portion of their books if they're selling their book online. If they do digital sales online, we get a small portion of the digital sales. If they do physical copies, 100% of the profit is theirs. So we try to eat as little as possible off of them. We make our money. I have clients, so I work with adult clients. So that's how we make our money in particular. But we want our children to have every advantage in life. So that way, by time those children are my age, they should be well established, highly successful, their own systems, their own things running, and it's all theirs. So, oh, and that lawyer, I forgot. The reason I said a lawyer, y'all, because we had a lady try to rob us for like 1.3 million, I want to say. 1.6 million. She tried to hit us for $1.6 million. So you got to have a lawyer so that don't happen to you. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
Now, I think I heard him say, if we believe it, we can achieve it. Yeah. So come on, Beloit. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's do this. And I know that I'm still going to be, working with you in your curriculum, your
Yes,
training
ma'am.
of teachers and that kind of thing.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. I have digital cards. I don't carry paper cards. Digital cards. Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna take, 8 o'clock, okay. So I know y'all been sitting, so you stand up and stretch, you can get an apple or a pear and some oranges, and then Judy is gonna call numbers off so you can go over there and pick one of the door prizes. Oof. And then you can mill around all you want to after that and talk with Brother Henry. Oh, if you have to leave before any of this though, we'd like to get your input on what you thought about the program. So there's an online evaluation and the forms are around the wall. If you would just take a picture of it, please, so you can fill out